And we are live. What's up, everyone? My name is Ryan, and you are watching What's Up, Ryan. Anyway, guys, in today's episode, we have quite a bit of stuff to cover. Binance just got booted off as the number one exchange in the world in terms of cryptocurrencies. Pantera Capital raising 125 million, focusing only on mature cryptocurrency companies or altcoin companies in the space. And we have CME's group's institutional interest has actually increased with regards to its futures. So there's much to cover. And also, can we truly be wealthy investing in Bitcoin? So all this and more, so stay tuned. So guys, if you are someone who's here only for the news, we are now going to be time stamping in the description and or in the comments so that you can either skip ahead, or at least if you want to catch the news, you can watch the whole episode. But if you're only interested in the in certain bits, everything will be in the timestamp. So let's get to it, guys. So in the very first, in the usual market roundup, we're going to be covering the overall market cap. So right now we have we stand at 133.4 billion, and the past 24-hour volume has been 25.489 billion, with BTC dominance actually increasing to 52%. It just goes to show that there has been some slight take profit from the altcoins, and it's going obviously to BTC at the moment, which is pretty encouraging. Volatility, on the other hand, just to take note, is actually dropping quite quickly. We are now having a 30-day estimate of 2.1%, and as you can see from the Bitcoin volatility index, the past 60 days it was 2.94. Currently now it's 2.1%. So what does that mean? Well, it just means that right now, as the prices start to stabilize, you're going to see less volatility for now. But in times to come, you never know how the prices are going to react. So like I said, Bitcoin prices in terms of the volume and at the same time the market cap is still relatively small. We have experienced, as I mentioned, up to 10 billion that has moved in just in this week alone, starting from the 18th of February. So we have to just be a little bit cautious on our entry points. So we're going to be just covering the top 10 cryptocurrencies first, and then the top performers and worst performance, and we'll go quickly into the charts. Right now, Bitcoin stands at 69.326 billion at the overall average price of 3,950. Now, take note that CoinMarketCap actually pulls data from various exchanges around the world, and this is actually the average price. So depending on which exchange you'll be using, there will be opportunities for arbitrage or a difference in price. So this is just the average price. The overall 24-hour volume is 7.767 billion, and in terms of the overall change is at minus 0.87, so it's down slightly. Ethereum is at 15.317 billion. You have the price at 145.94, and 24-hour volume is close to 4 billion with a loss of 1.47%. Ripple at 13.259 billion, and the current price is at 32 cents with an overall 24-hour volume of 635 million. As of now, it has lost 2.79%. EOS at 3.448 billion, and current price is at 3.81. Your overall 24-hour volume is at 1.386 billion, and it has lost 1.55% in the past 24 hours. Litecoin, 2.974 billion, and the current price is 49.1, and the overall 24-hour volume is 1.258 billion with a loss of 4.43%. Bitcoin Cash at 2.5 billion at 100 and stands at $142, very close to Ethereum's pricing. And in terms of the overall loss in the past 24 hours, 2.64%. Tether, not much to mention about because it's a stable coin. We'll skip that. We have Stellar, 1.705 in terms of overall market cap, 1.705 billion, of course. And in terms of price, is at 8.8 cents. We have a 24-hour volume of 142 million, and the past 24 hours has been a loss at 2.17%. Tron at 1.65 billion in terms of market cap at 2.4 cents, with the overall 24-hour volume standing at 148.9 million. Then we have its loss of the past 24 hours is 1.24%. You have Binance Coin, of course, shedding quite a bit, 1.474 billion, and $10.44 is its current market price. In terms of losses, it has sustained 3.92%. So let's go on to the top performers. And the top performers for the current past 24 hours would be Cash, and the market cap stands at 36.25 million, with a 24-hour volume of just 768.81, meaning that it has very thin order books for it to move in the past 24 hours, and it stands at 37.26%. Status, 77.5 million in terms of market cap. Current price is at 2.2 cents, and the past 24-hour volume seems relatively healthy for a 77.57 market cap at 10.83 million, and the past 24 hours it has gained 7.64%. Sia Coin, or Sia, 104 million in terms of market cap, and is less than 2 cents, guys, 0.002 dollars, right? And the past 24-hour volume is at 5.37 million, and we have and it has gained 3.58%. VeChain, which is a project that we have not seen in quite a while, as in is now currently moving upwards at 2.72% in terms of gain. Overall market cap stands at 248 million, and the current price is 0.004 cents on the dollar, and the 24-hour overall volume is 15.2 million. So guys, that is the and the last one is Revain. Never heard of it. Okay, never heard of it. 68.55 million, 14 cents at the moment, with a 24-hour volume of 752,000, and the increase was 2.43. Yep. So that is the top performers. Right, now let's go to the top losers as of now. Not too bad. I wouldn't say that it's a crazy loss, surprisingly. Perhaps there will be more bloodshed coming in closing to the weekend. Komodo is the top loser this particular day in the past 24 hours, standing at 103 million in terms of market cap at a price of 92 cents, and the past 24-hour volume is at 3 million, and we have a loss, and it has sustained a loss of 8.88%. Veritasium, something that we have not seen in a while, 44 million in terms of market cap at a price of 20.51, and the past 24-hour volume is at 1.9 million. The losses sustained is 8.35%. Hollow, 181.952 million, with the price of 0.001 cents. And the 24-hour volume, very, very healthy, 14.269 million, and the sustained losses is 6.58%. Factum, 56.709 in terms of market cap million, and price is 6.48. You have the past 24-hour volume, however, at $155,000, guys. And the losses in the past 24 hours is 6.15%. Tomo Chain, we've been seeing this fella for quite a bit. Probably most likely going to be it's probably the market movement is going to be tapering off already, so might not see this fella anytime soon. Currently standing in terms of market cap 34.615 million, and the current price is 58 cents. We have the past 24-hour volume at 1.591 million, and then in terms of the past 24-hour losses is 5.85%. Alright guys, so let's go into the charts. So in terms of Bitcoin price, I would say like I mentioned, after the 9%, which almost closing in on 10% increase this week, it has been kind of consolidated as it does every single week, at least after a pump. Now the only question is, will there be a very straightforward dump, or will there be some kind of take profit by the end of the week for most traders, and then a continued upward trend? We sincerely hope that would be the case. In terms of the OBV, it seems to be sustaining just like the price itself. This is a one-day candle, by the way, so that is yet to be determined. So we just have to monitor the price points, and obviously entries will be more on the cautious side, especially closing in as today is a Friday in Asia, and it's probably a Thursday evening in the US. Now, in terms of the Ethereum price, looking more or less the same. Especially Ethereum and BTC, they tend to move in tandem. I think there's some anticipation of Constantinople. Hopefully, it's like the revamp of Ethereum. There has been some kind of hype around it, but nonetheless, an upgrade to the system could be also received negatively if it underperforms or does not deliver in its promises. So these kind of things can also hinder or affect the price greatly if it doesn't turn out well for Ethereum. So take note, be very cautious. We maintain relatively cautious on Ethereum. Nonetheless, it stands at $144 as mentioned. In terms of RSI, it is already overbought, and it's obviously still having pretty strong volume. So momentum traders, obviously you're going to still enjoy trading Ethereum, but I think in terms of the upside potential remains pretty much limited as we approach the weekend. Now we talk about Ripple. Ripple has been pretty much the same in terms of volume right now. It has more sell side pressure as opposed to bullish sentiment, because right now if you look at the wicks, there seems to be a lot of selling pressure, especially we reached the 34 cents mark. So upside remains limited. Same, I would prefer probably a pullback or retracement to the 31 cents region before considering entry. Now we look at EOS. EOS at the moment is probably it's kind of reaching to the end of its upside potential. I don't feel that there's much strength left in EOS. If it were to if it wanted to cross 4, it would have done so already. So let's just monitor and see whether there's any kind of pullbacks before we look at EOS. Now Litecoin is kind of like the current favorite, because there are a few things. I think in August it is anticipated that the halving will potentially reduce the rewards, right? And whenever the block rewards for the miners are reduced, that usually tends to spike up the prices for most, especially for Bitcoin and Litecoin. So just take note that these are things that could happen. It's not a guarantee, and but based on the past performance, usually there is a spike in price. Right, so let's get into the news. Now, Binance has been booted from the top exchange spot during January lull. Now, this is happening across the board. So, exchanges such as Binance, Huobi, and Bitmex have suffered significant month-on-month declines in volume over the last 3 months. And indeed, following a 15% drop-off in crypto trading via its platform, Binance has now been displaced as the top volume exchange according to the data aggregation site. Yep. So the ironic thing is that there's this new exchange that is called ZB.com. So I'm not familiar with the exchange. Probably we have to do a little bit more in-depth research, but I've not heard of ZB.com before. And I mean, look, the volume is always very questionable when it comes to exchanges, right? Because Tether can be used, and we do not know how much collateral is placed when exchanges actually bring in US dollar Tether or whatever stable coin in there. And the reality of it is that how would you know that the volume is legit. It's very hard to tell, because as long as there's lack of compliance, there's lack of accounting and auditing, and most exchanges, as we all know in the past, when Bloomberg asked CZ to substantiate its books, CZ declined to do so. So yeah, these are the things that we do not know, right? We are just observers from the outside looking in, and the only way to kind of validate all this is that when people decide to withdraw they can't withdraw the stable coins. That's the thing, right? Certain exchanges don't allow you to withdraw US dollar tether. Hence, that is just a digital representation of what it could be, right? So you never know from behind the scenes that this is just basically my opinion, guys, okay? And it's not firm, but this is just my opinion. So what exchanges could potentially do is they can place a small amount of collateral, right, to have certain amounts of leverage in US dollar tether, right? So that because not everyone can raise a lot of money from the very get-go. As much as we all think that the USDT is backed by one USDT to $1, but there can be certain preferential arrangements, especially the more credible your exchange is and the more volume that you can generate. We are okay to probably work out a deal where you will obviously have to pledge certain assets, right, with the company that provides tether, and in exchange I will provide the tether to your exchange. From there you can generate some liquidity. Now, if you're talking about the fact that this particular ZB.com can generate 19.6 billion, that's really a decent amount of volume, by the way, okay? And I think this is just for the month itself, right? And in terms of volume, I would say, I mean, it's yet to be determined. So just take note that exchanges, as of now, the transparency isn't there, guys. Then, of course, we have Pantera Capital, as I mentioned, raising 125 million for its third cryptocurrency venture fund, and they are going to be focused on less on startups, but they're going to start investing in companies that have been in the crypto space a while. So, if you're an investor and you're looking from the outside in for the very first time, follow the smart money. Now, Pantera Capital, at the height of its in terms of its performance, has made a decent amount of bets, but not to discredit Pantera's team of analysts and credibility or whatever. But at the end of the day, at the time, cryptocurrencies were doing so well. Honestly, you didn't really need to do too much analysis to actually benefit from it, right? And as long as you had enough capital to tide over certain periods, especially during bear markets or so on and so forth, you would relatively still be quite optimistic about the space. But obviously, being a cryptocurrency hedge fund, you have certain privileges, and you're banking on the past credibility of whatever you used to invest in. And right now, they were able to raise an additional 125 million for any further ventures in the space. So take note, unfortunately, startup companies, or at least startup crypto funds, are not going to have it easy anymore. I mean, to impress Pantera or Sequoia or whatever crypto hedge fund or VC is not going to be easy, especially for this period, because they have personally sustained quite a number of hits to their portfolio. So I'm guaranteeing that they're not going to be so generous currently in this period. So if you're a startup, make sure you bring make sure you better roll up your sleeves and bring in your boots, because it's not going to be easy raising funds, and you better impress. White paper is not going to cut it. Now, in terms of CME Group's Bitcoin Futures, it sees a surge of institutional interest. So institutional interest as of now has a big spike in Bitcoin futures volumes, according to an internal investors email sent to clients on February 19. CME Group's note explains that the last Tuesday's BTC-based futures volumes touched a new record with 18,338 contracts traded, and the firm says increased volumes may be due to gradually rising institutional interest. Now, the good thing about this is that you're taking away volume from other futures related related exchanges. I think the good thing is that everybody, as I mentioned, I think there was this episode where I covered where the current crypto investors or traders in the space would still prefer a more recognized financial institution, because at the end of the day, we only want our funds to be safe, and we don't want sudden closures, or there's no way that we can actually reach out to support or whatnot. And I think at the end of the day, it's always good to just have a regulated, licensed entity that can provide the financial options available. So in this case, of course, CME and CBOE are doing that. But however, I think retail side, not many people are using CME or CBOE. Most are actually using Bitmex, which is run by Arthur Hayes. Right now, I would say the whole space is starting to shape up a little bit. I wouldn't say that I'm extremely bullish. I'm more of market neutral, but I am definitely long-term bullish about the space. And so we are going to be coming to the part about how to become wealthy when investing in Bitcoin. I think everybody is now starting to be a little bit more interested, because when you look at the Google trends, you're seeing that Bitcoin is starting to at least pick up in terms of interest a little bit. But I would like to cover that when you are looking at Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies in general with regards to an approach for your existing portfolio, we must not focus on just taking one asset class and assuming that that is going to make us rich. Doing that is just pure suicide and just being an idiot, okay? It's like you trying to win the lottery. However, it's not that cheap, because the lottery you can go in with very little. For folks who are thinking of becoming rich with purely Bitcoin, I wouldn't recommend that. But what I would rather recommend is that you set aside, if you do want to consider Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency, as an investment class for your current portfolio, make sure that you dedicate no more than 1%, right, of your overall. I personally am putting in only 1%, right, of whatever that I make on a monthly basis. I'm not considering anything else. Anyway, this is non-financial advice, because your risk profile and my risk profile can be very, very different, right? And we want to be able to absorb the risk in the event that there's a further market correction, because we cannot tell, right? Being that the crypto market is so small, as I mentioned, it's only 130 billion. It's a baby, okay? It's a baby in comparison to traditional stock markets, and it's a baby in comparison to traditional forex markets, and bond markets are even larger, right? So right now, if you're looking for passive income, you're looking for capital growth. Okay, let me just share my thoughts on these two income streams first. I would say that don't think about income stream for now. Focus on capital growth. If you are watching this and you are aged between 25 to 35, you have a long time horizon ahead, and therefore you should be focused on growth. You shouldn't be focused too much on dividends, right? You should be using the time and effort and going out there and hustling and making as much income as you can if you want to put money into this space, because the money here, okay, that you could potentially make truly is much more at the moment compared to the traditional markets, right? The traditional stock markets are not moving much at all, okay? It is trending upwards, but if you notice the charts, the returns are definitely better here, okay? We're just talking about performance, and we benchmark against whatever existing asset that we have. Now, the next thing that we want to highlight, to take note of, passive income. Sure, there have been talks about staking and whatnot, but we're talking about wealth. We're talking about wealth means that you have either wealth to carry on and make sure that you can retire without thinking about needing to step into doing a part-time job or a full-time job when you decide to leave your current job, right? That's true wealth. But if you're looking at generational wealth, then I wouldn't suggest just focusing only on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because this whole space is still too young, guys. There are a lot of projects out there that have not proven themselves, and in fact, a large part of whatever they've been spending on is just only purely on conferences and just looking like models, right? But in terms of real work done, no one has actually come out and says that they have turned a profit for their business. That is how scary this space is. Okay, that is how scary, right? The only proven network, unfortunately, is the Bitcoin network, and Litecoin is still a long way more from whatever it needs to do in terms of the adoption. If you can't see it, right, don't just read about it. Go out there and see for yourself. Do you really see merchants accepting Bitcoin wholeheartedly? Do you see shops, right, large shops or brands that accept cryptocurrency? To be honest, you see payment gateways, okay? But you don't see a large amount of merchants and individuals that are using Bitcoin or any form of cryptocurrency. That is going to take a number of years. Sure, could you even bet on the projects that are focusing on building the gateways and merchant and of course the building the payment gateways, and of course focusing on any kind of sector that potentially could use Bitcoin and could use blockchain technology or the distributed ledger technology? Sure, you can bet on that. But like I said, no more than 1% for me. I'm not gonna go more than that, because right now, when you look at the volume, the volumes are not awesome. So what I'm actually doing, so here's how I'm gonna be planning out my whole of 2019 in terms of my portfolio. I'm just gonna dedicate 1% of whatever I'm generating from my businesses and my existing investments. I'm gonna be putting 1% of that every month diligently into certain cryptocurrencies, and of course in Bitcoin as well. But what I'm actually doing is holding on to a little bit more cash this time around, hoping to capitalize on whatever possible opportunities that are going to be available in the stock market, because I've already mentioned that I anticipate somewhat of a shakedown in the stock market, and from then I will dedicate some resources to the stock markets to build up a dividend portfolio there. But that dividend portfolio is going to be very, very small, because I'm still focused on growth. I'm only 37 years old. I only want to focus on growth. So for you, when you're watching this, and maybe you don't have that much money to work with at the moment, but you have time. And when you have time, I would rather you focus that on building your portfolio of skills. And at the same time, when you build that portfolio of skills, it helps to build your credibility with whoever you're approaching or potentially could work for. That way you can command a higher salary, and make sure, guys, keep your living expenses, right, as much as possible, and of course random expenses low, so that you can have a positive cash flow to start focusing on investing in yourself, which is the knowledge that you potentially could have, and at the same time focus on improving and attaining new skills. This is very, very important for you at this current point, especially if you're watching this and you are just graduating, you have a student debt or student loan, and you want to quickly clear it off. All these little baby steps that you can take right now, and of course making money, hustling after school or over the weekend is very, very important, guys. Don't sit around and think that the crypto market is going to be your fast lane to becoming rich. And I see a lot of scams popping out at the moment, okay? And I warn you, these scams, right, could potentially affect your security on your computer. It may seem as if it's giving out free Bitcoins or whatever, but trust me, it does not work, okay? Don't even try, because that is going to compromise your overall network. It's going to, if it really does compromise your wallets and all that, because you never know whether there's some kind of malware or Trojan horse that could actually be because you have to download the software, guys. You have to download the software, and that's one way of attracting people. And people love to make fast and easy money, lazy money. I never believe in making fast and lazy money. I don't believe it. It doesn't exist. Okay, if it existed, I would have done it a long time ago. Okay, but trust me, it is 15 years of hard work. Okay, and plowing the field, establishing strong relationships, building a business, and generating a revenue with a scale and scaling your business with a strong team. That's it. Okay, that's all you have to do, and repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Everything else, if it comes, right, it will come, and you just have to make the right investment choices, okay, in your life, and you should be able to reach that point of wealth and stay healthy as well. I think that's the most important thing. So anyway, guys, that is all for the stream. I hope to see you in the next one. If you felt that this episode was of value to you, don't forget to give it a like and share. Please share this video. I think there are a lot of people that are coming into this space right now that could use important pieces of information that could be vital for them. And if you feel that, of course, explaining about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is too difficult, there's always a free course that you can sign up and get in my free Telegram group when you join today. And please, guys, we would appreciate a subscribe if you can, and click on the notification bell so that you do not miss the next live stream. See you.